Today on the channel, we punch a couple of more pages with the Fighting the Frozen, DC Direct, McFarlane Toys, Batman, Robin, and Mr. Freeze.
And the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and welcome back to the channel for another DC Page Puncher unboxing and review. And today, we're fighting the Frozen with Batman, Robin, and Mr. Freeze. But for all your DC needs and a whole lot more, make sure you're hitting up Entertainment Earth. Use discount code Kyle. Save yourself 10% all in-stock items. Anything over $79 does ship free. Got to get a deal out there. And I would assume these are at the Entertainment Earth, big bad toy stores of the world. I actually picked mine up at Target. Caught me at a weak moment. I did pick these up. I was planning on just getting the Mr. Freeze. Then I saw the Batman and the Robin. And you guys know the rest of the story. Here we are at the table here today. And of course, we're going to finish the story like we always start the stories. We're going to take a look at the packaging. We're going to talk about it. We're going to unbox it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to see where it goes from there. And an interesting setup here. I haven't had too many of those page punchers. I think I got Constantine and Gorilla Grodd. I think those are the only two I've had in the past. And I guess they're page punchers because they do come with a comic book, which is a pretty cool deal. Reminds me back to the old Spawn stuff in the 90s. Always came with a nice little comic book, so we do have some of that. But the packaging kind of all over the place, and a very interesting style packaging on these, which we will get into as well here. But definitely going to start it off, and I guess we'll start with Batman. We're going to start with Batman here first. Definitely an interesting figure here. Looks like something out of Frazetta artwork or something like that. Or almost like Conan the Barbarian is what this looks like. But big plastic window. It's like old school plastic packaging. Like very hard to unbox. Really like the DC, or I should say DC Spawn, McFarlane Spawn figures back in the 90s. They had the same kind of packaging design. You had to get the scissors out. It was a dangerous unboxing. And that's what we're going to have with these as well. But we do get Batman in there looking interesting. There's no doubt about it. There's a comic book behind him you can see. It does say DC Direct here. Definitely interesting. And then you got Batman, of course. Definitely an interesting look for Batman. It's not a Batman we're very accustomed to. There's no doubt about it there. Nothing on the sides of these. And very plain Jane on the back. I wish they would have had like just a slip-in page or something to have a little bit of something on the back, as that is about as plain as it gets. Maybe flip the comic book around, have the comic book back here, put something else behind the character. Not exactly sure what you could do, but definitely could be better than this, I do think. Includes exclusive comic book, and it does say English Language Edition. 12 and up, McFarlane Toys DC stamped in here. But like I said, impossible to open. There's no just ripping it open, anything like that. This is one of those things you gotta get a razor blade, carefully cut. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through these packages here, and then I'll cut them off offline, and we'll talk about these toys in a second. But we're gonna look at Robin in the packaging here as well. Robin looking like, almost reminds me of Tonto from the Lone Ranger in some kind of ways. Definitely an interesting look for Robin here. Very similar packaging design, of course. Robin down there at the bottom. I believe they all have different comic books too, which I do appreciate. There's nothing worse than getting the same comic book repeatedly. All the backs are going to be the same as well. So there's Batman, there's Robin, and then I guess the villain of the story here is Mr. Freeze. And boy, these two over here, not dressed for cold weather. Mr. Freeze is, though. A very, like, steampunk-like Mr. Freeze going on here. Definitely a big, heavy figure. You guys know I'm here for that. But definitely a different take on old Mr. Freeze right here. Mr. Freeze down here, DC Direct, comic book, 12 and up, all the usual stuff. Nothing going on there. Then on the back, you got DC in the background, but definitely a different version. And they were selling a variant edition of this at San Diego Comic-Con. It was like an all-white edition. I almost pulled the trigger, and I said, you know what? I really don't need that in my collection. I'll be just fine with the regular one. I don't need two of these figures. So I did pass on that one. Happy I got this one here. So without further ado, I'm going to take this offline. I'm going to get these out of the package. Hopefully keep all my digits in hands. More ways than one. And we'll be back talking all things Batman, Robin, and Mr. Freeze. All right, got everybody out of the package, and I gotta say, if I would have left the camera on for this unpackaging, we would have been about an hour long, as I like this packaging. I like the clear style packaging throughout, but man, are these tough to get out. I took a razor blade all the way around. Then you had to get the comic book out, and you had to be careful. Had to get the card out, had to get the stand out, had to get the figure out. Then you got twist tie after twist tie all over the place. I don't think you'd ever have a problem with a figure swapper on this kind of packaging. It's just impossible to get in there and to make it right. Just absolutely next level packaging. Not exactly sure. It was kind of fun. It reminded me back to the old Spawn stuff back in the day, but just absolutely next level packaging between all the twist ties, plastic around everything. Just crazy times. But let's dive in here. Let's go person by person, I guess. We're going to start off with Mr. Freeze. Happy to say we do get a DC stand. Seen him before. We'll see him again. We've seen those many times over the years. We do get a trading card. The trading card is the same artwork that is on the comic book here. It does say Mr. Freeze, and we got War and Peace for Mr. Freeze. Let's see what this version of Mr. Freeze is up to here. All right, let's see here. Theorizing absolute zero experimentation would slow the disease affecting his wife, Nora. Mr. Freeze and his beloved bride are accidentally thrust 16,000 years into the past. Seeking to return to their proper century, the frigid fiend attempts to recreate the unintentional circumstances of his time manipulation experiment, callously unleashing a deadly new ice age upon the surrounding lands. Robin, a brave young warrior from a neighboring tribe, pleads for aid from Batman, the noble leader of the Bat Clan. Recognizing the existential threat to their people, Batman, Robin, and the stoic Batgirl forged an alliance to stop the criminal King of Cold. So there's a nice little explanation. Definitely hear from that instead of just the kind of generic ones we normally get. But Batman fighting the Frozen, very cool to get a comic book in here. Trying to get old people like me, young people, anybody who buys this, a chance to read some modern day comic books. Maybe they'll get hooked, and before you know it, they got a DC subscription. Who knows? But we do get a comic book here. I like that little touch. Always enjoyed it when I was a kid as well. But now we dive into Mr. Freeze right here. Big, heavy figure, as I did say, and he does come with a nice accessory. A little backpack here, very mechanical-like, with a little freeze gun. You got the coiled cord right here, all in plastic. It's got some movability to it, but it is plastic. At the end of the day, it is not removable. It does not separate. But very, once again, steampunk-like with this one here is kind of what I akin this to. You got all kinds of the turns on there, the knobs, all kinds of stuff going on, some dings and some dents. It's a backpack that's been through some things. You got a little bit of blue there, really bringing out some extra color on this one. Definitely something interesting, no doubt about it. But the main attraction here is, of course, the figure. And it looks like some kind of, like I said, steampunk character or a deep diver. It looks like he's getting ready to go down in the deepest depths of the ocean or something like that. It almost looks like a very primitive-like undersea, deep-sea diver. Like Deep Six from G.I. Joe, maybe. Who knows? But an interesting-looking one. You get an all black face, clear face. We got two red eyes there. Big old silver helmet. Rivets all over on the body here. He does got knee pads. He does got shoulder pads. He's ready for battle. He's ready for life under the sea. Got those same kind of blue color canisters that we saw on the weapon on his side belt there, looking really nice. Big old Frankenstein-like boots here in all silver. And then kind of a greenish colored jumpsuit going on. And then belts and buckles and chrome everywhere. Got dials there. I mean, there's a lot going on this figure here. Definitely an interesting one. And I will say, if somebody just handed me this figure before I had this and before I saw this, say, hey, who is this? I would tell you I have absolutely no idea, because my brain, when I think Mr. Freeze, this is not what I think of. You may be different. Let me know in the comments down below. But definitely something totally, entirely different for this Mr. Freeze. Got the green hands going on here, or not necessarily, I can't even get my color. Not hands, and it's not green, so totally false. Back that up. He does got gloved hands in purple, so let me correct myself, but we got that going on there. Definitely an interesting look. Even some feathers going around on the top here. Some feathers on the hands as well. Just a crazy thing. And the more you look at it, the more you see. You see more dials and stuff. You see hoses going on. There's a lot to look at on this figure. And of course, he is articulated as well. His arms do go all the way around. Single jointed elbows. That's all you get right there. Hands back, forth, side to side. No extra hands with him, as we do know. We do get waist articulation. You do get head. You can actually spin this all the way around there. And then you got some good up and down on this. Way more up and down than I would have ever expected for this figure. Got those big old splits if you need them. You got double jointed, single jointed knees on this one. And you get ankles back, forth, side to side. Then, of course, you got that patented Todd McFarlane toe articulation. Quite the figure here. Definitely something different. That's all I can say. It's definitely not my Mr. Freeze, what I think of with Mr. Freeze, but it is definitely cool. It is cool in its own little way. Definitely an interesting one. There's no doubt about it. Like I said, there is a variant edition if you're on the look for that. That was at San Diego Comic-Con 2023 for those keeping track at home. So there's Mr. Freeze. Now we're going to turn our attention over to the Boy Wonder. We're going to go to Robin. Oh, Robin. Once again, because of the DC stand, we've seen those before. Same kind of thing. Comic book, trading card, same artwork going on. Definitely an interesting one. Let's see what it says about this Robin here. Let's see. Theorizing absolute zero experimentation, big word there, would slow the disease affecting his wife Nora. Mr. Freeze, so it's the same story. We already read this story, so we don't need to read that again. So I'm guessing all 3 cards are going to have the exact same story going on. It'll be interesting to see if all these stories connect too, or if you're supposed to read them in order, or if they're all just kind of one-off. It's like, here's Robin's adventure in this land, here's Batman's, here's Mr. Freeze's. But definitely an interesting one. Good artwork throughout, though. No issues with this, and it does feel free. Feels like a free pack-in to me. And definitely very cool there. So we got that. Now we're going to get down to Robin. We're going to get down to Robin and his accessories first. He does got a big old spear he comes with right here. So very interesting. You know, he looks like, you know, a tribe or something like that. I think it displayed that in the card, explained that in the card there for us, that he was kind of a, you know, an indigenous tribe or whatever it was. But he's got a spear, something you could see from back in the day, the olden times, of course. He's just not quite dressed for the freezing times, I don't think. But you got like an arrowhead on the end here, another spear on this side, a little bit of, I don't know, let's call it horsehair. He's got horsehair here from a fallen horse. You got a little wrappings in the middle. Definitely an old school, old-timey weapon, but it does get the job done at the end of the day. And then you got a nice little knife here. Man, this is a crazy little knife. Almost looks like something you see in like prison or whatever. It's like almost like a saw blade glued onto a bone is what it looks like. But definitely a bad day at the office to get stabbed by this bad boy right there. So Robin packing some heat. That's what he's doing. And Robin, the littlest figure of the bunch here, of course it is Robin. He's got an interesting mask on going there, looking very interesting. Nice mohawk across the top. Got the bandana around the eyes, like a Ninja Turtle is what he looks like to me. He's got a little of that going on. All white eyes, and then he's got a little bird skull there in the chest. A little bit of war paint there on his chest as well. Got that familiar R for Robin, of course. One shoulder guard there. He's got forearm guards with some spikes on him ready to go. 2 gripping hands. No fists of fury for old Robin here. He does got a sculpted in belt, and it looks like we got a spot to hold his spear or his knife on the side. Got a few arrowheads kind of on the side there as well. Got a nice little cloth on the front there, almost like a loincloth almost, but it looks like some kind of fabric. All in plastic, though. He's got some pajama parachute pants. I think he got these from MC Hammer's closet. I think so. So he's too legit to quit. There's no doubt about it with this Robin here. He's ready to go. Also, MC Hammer, bringing it all back home. A big Oakland A's fan. Shout out to old MC. I'm sure he's watching this video right here. We got some knee guards on him, of course. And then, of course, you do get a little wrapping down here at the ankles. Bare feet on this Robin. Walking around in that cold, that can't be a good day at the office. Butterfly shoulders on this one. Bicep cut. Arms go all the way around. Double jointed elbows. Hands back forth, side to side. Back forth, side to side. Up and down on the head, of course. Hula hoop at the top. No real traditional waist there. You do get the splits, of course. Double jointed knees, very tight in the knee department. Then ankles up, down, back and forth. And then you got that patented McFarlane toe articulation for Robin. He is ready to go. He is ready to get hypothermia is what he's ready for here. But definitely an interesting looking Robin. Definitely something entirely different. I think I would know this is Robin by the R on the chest there. But much like Mr. Freeze, definitely a different interpretation of the Robin character. There is no doubt about it. Definitely an interesting story, and I'm going to read all 3 of these comic books, so we'll see what happens with these. But now we turn our attention to Batman to finish it up. We get the stand once again. We get the Batman theorizing. Yep, same exact story on the back. Definitely a cool artwork here. I like that. And then you do get the comic book as well. Batman fighting the Frozen #1. Definitely interesting. Definitely a different story as well. Definitely cool, though. I'm here for it. And I like this version of Batman. This Batman looks like something out of like a Man-O-War concert.
Living on the road. When we're in town, speakers explode.
Frazetta or just Conan the Barbarian, anything like that. It's just definitely like Conan the Barbarian Batman is what this one looks like to me. Definitely a cool looking one. He's got the big old bat ears. That's the first thing you do notice. Got kind of a ripped up cowl in the front. White eyes once again, just like Robin, but definitely a mean face on him. We got a little bit of a tan going on this Batman as well, but he is chiseled out of granite here like a young Arnold Schwarzenegger, or even a Franco Columbo if you want to go that far back. But definitely looking good, definitely looking muscular. Once again, kind of like a Conan the Barbarian. Got a pelt. Is that what we call it, a pelt? But he's got the fur at the top, and then, of course, he's got that cape. Definitely an interesting looking cape on him right there. He does got the Batman International World title he's wearing around here. He's got some spears and some different things going on. Once again, he's got a loincloth in the front, got some spikes throughout. Looking really nice. Little rope attached to the side when he wants to pretend he's Indiana Jones, I guess. Who knows? And then you got the furry boots down low like a young Bruiser Brody, and then he's got some knee protection as well. Knee safety, even back in the olden days, you got to be careful with those knees. You only got one set of knees unless you get them replaced. There you go. Got the big old Batman kind of things on the forearm guards like we always see. Can never remember the name for those things, but they are sharp, and they look like he uses these as a weapon, which he should. Articulation, he's got the butterfly shoulders, arms go all the way around. Got the bicep cut, double jointed elbows, hands back forth side to side, head back forth side to side, hula hoop if you need it, waist articulation, the big old splits going on right there. Double jointed knees, very tight, ankles back and forth, side to side, and then you got that toe articulation, like we usually see from McFarlane, of course. Now we got to dive into the weapons. We're saving the accessories for last for Batman here, but definitely cool one. To me, the star of the show. Out of these three, Batman is my favorite. Then I'm going to go Mr. Freeze and Robin kind of at the end. We'll see if we get Batgirl eventually. That'll be interesting. But we do get two weapons. We do get a big old bat axe. It's like a batarang there tied around a stick, an old stick he found. But definitely a big old bat axe going on. Very medieval looking. And then you get another kind of axe club thing going on. You got the kind of bat spikes in there as well, wrapped around. Very primitive, very olden times. He-Man times is almost, I don't know if you can even say He-Man times because they had a lot of technology in He-Man. So caveman times, who knows? It's like Ringo Starr in the Caveman movie back in the day, for those keeping track at home. But definitely an interesting set here. Definitely an interesting feel and look. I don't know if we're going to build this universe out. We're going to get more of these. Are we going to get the Batgirl? Will we have more stories to add to other characters having this kind of a feel? I can see McFarlane having a field day with his DC page punchers with these, expanding it out. We'll get a crazy Joker, a Clayface, a Killer Croc. Part of me, though, wouldn't like that, but part of me would like it because I'd love to see some of these interpretations. What could a Killer Croc look like in this universe? That would be a pretty cool thing. So definitely something that piqued my interest. Definitely happy I picked this one up. Like I said, Batman for sure was a definite. Mr. Freeze was a pretty definite. Robin I was on the fence for, but I figured I better finish off the team. Finish off the team right here, so I picked up the Robin. Definitely interesting. Definitely a cool set. But what say you guys out there? Is this a set you're picking up? Are you a fan of this set? Or are you long gaming it? Or are you passing it? Let me know your thoughts on these three in the comments down below. Of course, you made it this far. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell as we got videos every single day. Yes, you heard it right. Every single day here on the channel, we got videos, and we got even more content for you over on the old Patreon. Patreon, your best way to support this channel and all the content it does bring. You can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com. Search Kyle Peterson, and don't forget social media. SirPaul64 over there on Twitter. I should say the X, the _Kyle_Peterson on Threads and on Instagram. So for a little DC page puncher action, I'm Kyle. See you guys all real soon.